Welcome to the explainer. You know that feeling, right? You ask an AI a simple question and you get back something generic or just plain wrong. Well, if that sounds familiar, you're in the right place. We're going to turn that frustration into a formula for success.
Okay, so what if I told you that the world's most powerful AI is really just a very, very good mimic? I mean, seriously, just think about that for a second, because that single idea is the key to unlocking consistently better results from tools like ChatGPT and Gemini. It changes everything about how you should be writing your prompts.
So let's pull back the curtain on the AI's secret identity. To get those great answers we're all looking for, we first have to get a handle on what the AI is actually doing when we ask it something. And trust me, it's probably not what you think.
This right here, this quote from the book Prompt Engineering for LLMs, it's absolutely crucial. These models aren't thinking or reasoning the way we do. They're basically master-level pattern matchers trained to just predict the next most likely word.
So picture this. Their entire worldview comes from this gigantic library of stuff from the internet. Books, articles, all the code from GitHub, conversations from Reddit, you name it. So when an AI responds, it's not thinking. It's just playing a high-stakes game of what word comes next, based on all the patterns it learned from that data.
And this leads to the most important mental shift you can make. The AI isn't answering your question. It's completing your prompt, as if it were a document it found in its training data. So your goal then is to make your prompt look like the beginning of a document that already has the answer you want. See the difference? You're not having a conversation, you're kicking off a document for the AI to finish.
Okay, now we're going to talk about speaking the AI's language. Because once you understand this whole mimicry thing, it suddenly makes perfect sense why some of our simplest questions can get these weird, confusing, or just flat-out wrong answers. It's because we're not speaking its language, we're speaking ours.
Okay, check out this fantastic example. A user asks a pretty simple question, list countries starting with Swen, and ChatGPT says, nope, none exist. Now, why would it do that? It's not because it's forgotten about Sweden or Switzerland, it's because it doesn't see letters the way we do. Yeah, it all comes down to something called tokens. The AI doesn't see letters, it sees these common chunks of words. So for the AI, words like Sweden and Switzerland are probably just single whole tokens. And asking it to look inside that token for the letters S and W is a weird, unnatural task for it. It really struggles when you ask it to break apart the building blocks it already learned.
So how do we get around this? Well, prompt engineers have this great name for the solution: the Little Red Riding Hood principle. And the idea is super simple. Stick to the path. Use the kinds of document structures and language patterns that you know the AI has seen a million times before in its training data. Don't make it go off-roading.
All right, so we get the why now. Let's get to the how. I'm going to give you a brilliantly simple and really memorable four-part formula that puts this whole Little Red Riding Hood principle into action. Take a look at this. This is an awesome prompt from Google's Gemini guide. It is the perfect illustration of this four-part formula for success. You can see right away, it's not just a question, right? It's a complete set of instructions. Okay, so let's break this powerful structure down. There are 4 parts: persona, task, context, and format. We're going to walk through each one, and by the end, you'll be able to use this formula every single time you write a prompt.
First up, persona. You start by giving the AI a role. You are an expert marketer, or act as an HR manager. What this does is it immediately focuses the AI. You're basically telling it which shelf in its massive library to pull from, what kind of style and knowledge set to mimic.
Second, the task. You have to be super explicit here. Don't just ask a vague question. Use a strong, actionable verb that tells the AI exactly what you want it to do. Draft this, summarize that, brainstorm ideas, translate this text. Be direct. Okay, number 3 is context, and listen up because this is, without a doubt, the most critical part. This is where you feed the AI all the necessary background, the specific details, any rules or constraints it needs to follow. A simple rule of thumb, more context almost always means a better answer. And last but not least, format. Tell the AI exactly how you want the final answer to look. You want a bulleted list, a table, a professional email? Specifying the format up front is a huge time saver. No more reformatting later. All right, let's move on to prompting in the real world. I want to show you just how dramatically your results can improve when you apply these principles, especially that big one, providing rich context. So here's the scene we've all been in.
A typical, kind of vague prompt. A user says, "Hey, I like these 2 books, recommend another one." And the result is, fine. It's a very generic, very safe recommendation. Nothing special.
But now, watch this. The user adds just 2 little sentences of personal context. They mention their age, an interest, a recent trip they took, and bam! Suddenly the recommendations are incredibly tailored, they're specific, and they're genuinely useful. It's a night and day difference.
And this, right here, is the whole point. This is the big takeaway. Getting good prompts isn't some dark art with magic keywords you have to memorize. It's simply the skill of providing better information to get better information back. Clear inputs create clear outputs. It's that simple.
Okay, so now it's your turn to be the engineer. What's the big takeaway here? How can you put all this into action, like, right now?
Simple. The next time you open up ChatGPT or Gemini, don't just type a question. Pause for a second. Remember, it's a pattern matching engine. So think like a mimic. Give it a persona, a clear task, all the context you can think of, and tell it how you want the answer presented. And when you think about it that way, it kind of reframes everything, doesn't it? Maybe clear communication is the single most important skill of this new AI age. Prompting isn't just some technical chore anymore. It's becoming a fundamental skill, just like reading or writing. It's all about how clearly we can communicate our intent to these incredibly powerful new tools.
There's this great Sir Terry Pratchett quote. The whole world is tap dancing on quicksand. In this case, the prize goes to the best dancer. And as our world keeps changing at this absolutely dizzying pace, maybe that's what this is all about. The ability to communicate with clarity to both people and to machines. That might just be the skill that sets us apart. It's not about knowing all the answers anymore. Maybe it's about knowing how to ask the right questions.